Welcome to Strip Cover Lid. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
And we're here with you for this week's Variety Hour.
And the worst cigar that you have ever forced upon me. This is the Lunatic. El Chiquito?
El Chiquito.
El Chiquito. This is death.
Yeah, it might be.
And I don't know why you enjoy this. This hurts to smoke. That's just, you monster. You monster. Okay.
Okay.
All right, perk up a little bit. Adrian.
Yeah.
What are you writing? What are you reading?
I have started reading some more Bukowski because I am on this poem a day, writing a poem a day trip in relation with writing 500 words overall every day, reading at least 25 pages a day. So right now I'm reading Unwind for next week on our channel. So I've been reading that a lot. I finished Fight Club early. I've been reading a little bit of Bukowski. I feel like there was something else Harry Potter, which is amazing. I love Harry Potter.
Do you?
No!
As much as I love this cigar, you love Harry Potter. I need to pick up Unwind. We will be doing that next week for our review. I don't know anything about it. Young adult.
Not bad so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I'm enjoying 80% of it, I would say.
This smokes so much. You are not going to be able to see us.
Maybe.
This is just clouding. Also rereading Harry Potter. Finished Fight Club late, so I didn't get much personal reading in. I really need to get on your poem a day spree. I think you've got a good argument for that, and I need to get back to it. So,
forcing yourself into some type of creative writing every day versus just writing. I do a lot of, I wouldn't call it journaling, I would call it free writing. It helps you get your thoughts down, write about life,
yeah,
in general, strategy for life, things like that. But the trick there is you do it for so long and you do these, well, I'm going to write 500 words every day, and eventually you run out of things to say if you don't stop to think about what you're going to write about fiction-wise. And there's a trick right there, is once you start thinking about what you're going to write fiction-wise, it's no longer fiction.
Fair enough.
And it's no longer storyteller. It's forced.
We'll like to point out, we went to a new cigar shop to get these cigars. Is it called Outlaw? The Outlaw? The Outlaw Cigars? What is it specifically?
I think it's The Outlaw.
I think it's The Outlaw. Lovely shop. Had a little smoke room and everything, about twice the size of my cigar shop that I go to. Fine selection, very knowledgeable. If you're in the Kansas City area, go check out The Outlaw.
It's on 64th Street.
64th Street's the one we went to. You will probably see us there. The man pointed out that the cigars that I like, I am allowed to purchase if I will trade my man card. So I'm going to have to get that out of my storage unit and take that in for him, because I cannot smoke this ever again.
I imagine that you swipe.
You do.
Your man
it's a
card
credit purchase.
I'm not a fan of the term man card.
No?
No, I'm not big on that. I think that part of my definition as an undergrad for, man theory was that man decides what is right for him, right? Or what is right. So I think that anything can be manly.
If this cigar is indicative of what makes you manly, sign me up for the first train home, because this...
I was defending your cigars.
This is terrible.
That's what that was an argument for.
I am not defending your cigar.
I think yours is actually burning faster than mine because you're not smoking this time. That is insane.
It's like a campfire. It just keeps smoking. Like the fire department's going to be here soon. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we have been talking a lot recently about politics. Recent events in our area spring forth the fact that we need to continue talking about politics.
And we may have exclusive first rights pictures at the end of the show for the anti-Trump rally in Kansas City.
Yes.
Courtesy of Zoila. So
we're still working on that. We hope we can bring that to you and give you an exclusive image.
This will be a last-minute addition to the show. So if that doesn't happen, don't hold it against us. But that's what we're aiming for. Now, back on the subject of Trump, I would like to say two things. This election in general, I think it is awful that this was the year and the election that Jon Stewart decided he didn't have it in him for. He would have an absolute field day with this and would be redefining the election. That's A. B. I have never been a Bill Maher fan. Never been a Bill Maher fan. Didn't like Religulous. Didn't like any of his stuff before that. Never thought he was funny. I think Donald Trump being a legitimate presidential candidate is allowing him to hit full stride, though. I think he has renewed whatever it was in him that had been at some point and has become a better version of Bill Maher.
I watched Gilbert Gottfried. You know Gilbert? I actually really enjoy him as a comedian, to start with. I watched him do a 10-minute long Aristocrats joke. That is Gilbert Gottfried screaming at you for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And are you familiar with the Aristocrats?
Yeah.
That is what I assume a Donald Trump rally is like.
Yeah, I imagine.
I mean, it's just perfect.
Well, that's
this horrible thing turned into this horrible thing, and we're going to do these terrible things to these horrible people.
It'll be terrific.
And we'll call ourselves the Aristocrats. It's awful. However, I will still, again, defend American democracy, and if you want to vote for the man, go out and vote for the man. That is your right. Good for you for expressing that. But how can you support someone whose campaign slogan is being taken and used, and not being addressed that it's being used, to make America white again?
Which indirectly leads me to something that I saw on Twitter that was very disheartening, I think. The power of English may not have been with Neil deGrasse Tyson in this tweet. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not specifically, no.
Donald Trump haters are actually Donald Trump supporters. I don't remember how it went, but it was maddening. And I don't think he knew what he was saying, because the whole anti-Trump, pro-Bernie, which is a lot the same crowd.
It is.
Right? A lot the same crowd. If you're not going to give us Bernie, at least don't give us Trump. Like, that seems to be the rallying cry. That is not the same as being anti-democratic. What we're saying is, you can absolutely still vote for him, but don't come to us when this happens.
I think what it is Trump's campaign is a hate-fueled campaign.
Yeah.
It is. There was a political cartoon, and I cannot remember the author. I do apologize. I saw it very early on in the race this year. It was when Jeb Bush was still a candidate. It was Hillary and Jeb leading a few supporters with the Democrats and the Republicans logo. And then there was a mile-long line of supporters following Bernie and Trump. Bernie holding a sign that said love, Trump holding a sign that says hate. Because that's what it is. Both of these candidates are playing on emotion. I honestly think Bernie's out to do what he thinks is best, and he does legitimately care about people. Trump is also out to do what he thinks is best, but it's a hate campaign. These people are wrong, and we're going to fix it.
You want to know something? You want me to tell you something I think might damn me?
Okay.
I am not sure that Donald Trump would make a bad president. No, hear me out.
Okay.
He's a bad person. He's leading a bad campaign. What I think Trump would honestly do, if he were president, is defer to whoever he thought had the best ideas, and defer to whoever he thought would actually do things the right way. I make fun of him as a businessman a lot. You don't get where he has been several times and lost several times in business without being able to defer to someone else's strengths. Now, that is, conversely, one of the things that has made historians kind of come full circle on Harry Truman.
Okay.
Harry Truman was able to defer.
Yes.
The buck stopped there, but he was willing to listen to other people's ideas.
And that's a valid argument. And I have made the point before that if, in the unfortunate event, he does get the nomination, which it's looking like he will, whoever he picks as his VP needs to be a conservative, established politician.
Which I wonder if that's where this whole Kasich thing is going.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You don't think Donald Trump immediately extends a hand to him if he wins the nomination and says, hey, get on my ticket?
Kasich, whatever it is too progressive. Donald Trump needs an old, steadfast conservative to support his campaign, but he needs someone who is a versed and recognized politician, because that's his weakness.
Well, but that's the thing is, Kasich has done well in Ohio. Kasich has been good for Ohio.
Kasich's from Ohio.
Am I thinking of the wrong person then?
Are you thinking of Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio?
No. Kasich's in Ohio, right?
Yes.
Holds office in Ohio.
Yes.
He's done well for Ohio.
He has done well for Ohio.
Okay, yeah.
But on
he's been conservative fiscally, but progressive in other areas. I honestly don't believe that Trump really knows the difference.
No.
I think Donald Trump is doing what you do in reality TV, and he's trying to get the nomination. Once he secures the nomination, he will then go full whatever he thinks will get him presidential. Once he's there, Donald Trump wants to be the best president, right? I can't even do Donald Trump.
Hey, Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump sound so much alike. But it's a very interesting race. It really is. Because the two candidates, one who's leading and one who has a grassroots movement that's really pushing for lead, are not typical candidates. I mean, they're both very similar in that respect, where Donald Trump is not a politician, he's a businessman. Right. Bernie Sanders is not your stereotypical politician, he's an independent. So they do have that going for them, and maybe that's what America is pushing for. But in my humble, honest opinion, it seems like Trump would set us back as a nation where Bernie is trying to move us forward.
And I honestly think that potential is there. I really do. But I don't believe once he's in the White House, if God forbid that happens, that he would be an active president. I really don't. And here's another thing you brought up, that they're similar, and people say that a lot, right? And there are aspects to this that's absolutely. The one person I would in my own history compare Bernie Sanders to is John McCain, until John McCain sold out. Because John McCain, there's a man that I thought if he becomes president, he may be wrong on things, this or that, but he will absolutely do what he thinks is best for the country. That was my support of John McCain. Because a man does not suffer for 6 years, you said?
It was something similar to 6 years.
Something insane, where he was a POW. And not just a POW, of the worst degree, some of the worst degree of POW that has ever been reported, right? I'm sure that there's been situations that were worse than that, but not that any of them are preferable, right? But a man does not suffer like that and come out saying, you know what, I'm just going to do me, you know.
I don't know. One big thing that's going with this campaign is mainstream media, and this very much bothers me. We, I think, can say at this point that we have established ourselves as YouTubers.
Yes.
We are small in the community.
But we are in the community.
And it is building. And it seems like maybe this is a generational thing. People go towards YouTube now for their media preferences. And I can't say that I blame them, because this campaign alone, it doesn't do justice. Media and reporting is supposed to be unbiased.
And here's something you explained to me that I didn't know, is with the delegates and superdelegates and how Hillary's leading by 1,200 to 700?
No, it is a relatively close race. It's all superdelegates that Clinton has. Now, she is leading, yes.
Now, if there's anyone who doesn't understand what superdelegates are, would you explain that? After you're done smoking this fine cigar.
It's terrible. Essentially, X amount of people, X amount of conglomerations, whatever, specific special interest parties are allowed a delegate count, which they may endorse upon a candidate, and they are willing, or they have the option of changing that. Hillary currently has a lot, 200 or maybe 450, I think, something like that. Bernie has 30-ish. I'm not up to date on my numbers. That could change. But essentially, it seems to be these people are supporting whoever they think is going to pay them back.
Now, what is a superdelegate?
A superdelegate is a special interest party that is allotted a delegate vote.
More so than
like
one per one.
You and I have to vote in our county or whatever it is precinct those account towards our delegates. Super delegate would be like me having one delegate number that I can bestow upon a candidate. Now, I can finance...
if I'm a super delegate, I get 2 because I'm me and I have a badass cigar. Is that kind of how this goes?
If that works for
okay.
you, yes. Now, a lot of these people seem to be bestowing money upon candidates and saying, here's X amount of money, you've got our support, we endorse you, don't forget about us.
But Bernie doesn't take that. Right?
Bernie doesn't take that. Now, there are some people who are endorsing Bernie Sanders who do give him a delegate count. It's great. And there are people who are funding him, but they are the everyman.
Right.
It is all a grassroots campaign. His campaign is funded through people. Now, I did mention when we were talking about media.
I actually sent him some Ovaltine.
I'm sure he'd love some Ovaltine.
I love the Ovaltine! Give me them all!
Let me back up just a little bit, because we were talking about media, and I said media is supposed to be unbiased. News media, yes. Global news media, local news media is supposed to be unbiased. YouTube is different. You don't come to this channel expecting politics.
Yeah.
You don't come to this channel. It's all political.
We've lost all of our viewership.
Yeah, you don't come to this channel.
We've lost all of our delegates.
You don't come to this channel saying, oh, these people are going to tell me both ends of the issues. No, we're going to be heavy Bernie supporters because that's who we've endorsed, that's who we are, and we have no affiliation to report otherwise. Mainstream media is supposed to give you news.
Right.
Instead of, they're giving very biased opinions and they are swaying votes. Because a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Hillary's got it in the bag because mainstream media has set up Hillary to be the nominee. Bernie Sanders does not get airtime. He doesn't get addressed as a potential candidate. And it's very unfortunate that we've come to that. And most of Bernie's campaign, much like President Obama's campaign, has come from younger voters. And these are people who are turning against mainstream media. And they're looking online for their opinions, and they're researching what they want. So that's a great thing. I think it honestly is. I'm disappointed in mainstream media, but that's kind of the glory of YouTube.
Right.
It's the glory of BookTube, because we're not the authority on the subject.
Right.
So we can't say, as the authority, this is that, this is that. This is just us.
Yeah.
Just two guys, we're talking books. This is what we believe.
Something else that's disappointing. I've been going to my mother's once a week for dinner. That's not the disappointing part. The disappointing part is that she has a television, which I have not partaken in 10 years-ish. And, wow, when I'm over there, it's on. And you want to talk about media, Kansas City News is miserable. They basically prepare like 10 minutes of stories,
yes,
and they just loop it.
Yeah.
For the 2 hours they're on, or whatever, I don't know, it's like a black hole. And they play like YouTube videos of cats.
Yeah.
Watch what this cute cat does.
Yeah.
Look at this video. What?
And that's been something that's always been an element of news.
But I don't think, well, the fluff story, but it's normally local content, right?
It used to be local content.
And it's something that happened.
And the people would go out and do the work, and they film it themselves. But now it's just take clips from YouTube. I mean, we could appear on CNN. Yeah. If there is a fight and some kind of grassroots movement to put us on CNN, have at it.
Yeah.
But they can take anything.
I want to fight Wolf Blitzer.
I say.
Who would you fight from media?
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper?
I think I could take it.
Oh, I don't know. Anderson Cooper's wiry, man. I bet Anderson Cooper... Here's the thing. I bet Anderson Cooper sets up with headshots, gets you once in the kidneys, and you're done. He'll kill you with a body blow.
Let me rebuttal. If there is one person in mainstream media that I would love to take on, Nancy Grace.
Okay.
I hate Nancy Grace with a passion. And if we do end up on CNN through some weird supernatural occurrence, that is going to be the only soundbite they play.
I want to hit a woman in the face.
Yes. That's how it works, and it's unfortunate. And I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point because I'm pissy. But wow, man, that is what it is. Mm-hmm. So maybe we can do better with that. I think the idea of BookTube is a great thing. When we talk to people outside of the BookTube community and we're like, oh, we do a YouTube channel, we talk about books, it's always the same response.
Books?
Books.
Books?
That's nice. I read one of those once. But you envelop in a community that you can support.
Yeah.
BookTube is all community supported, easily.
Yeah.
We watch your guys' videos. We hope you watch ours. If you're not,
And
just
if not, we know where you live.
But it's important that it's community-based. And we discussed this with the Fine brothers and how they are pieces of shit.
But wow, the wrath of the community on that.
Exactly. A community can make or break you.
That's democracy, right? Like that's,
It is interesting because we could wake up tomorrow and have
0 subscribers.
0 subscribers because we said something that somebody didn't like and we were just destroyed.
Right.
We could wake up tomorrow with 20,000 because something went viral.
Right.
It's interesting how it works because you don't know what is right, what is wrong, and you can be crucified upon your opinion.
Well, right and wrong, I don't think are the right terms, or the correct terms. Popular and unpopular. There were a lot of times, I keep bringing up Christopher Hitchens, especially in our Variety Hour, but Hitchens lost a lot of support when he supported the Iraq War.
Yes. And
From the left.
maybe we're not established enough to take on this topic. Maybe we are because we are kind of the oddballs of the BookTube community. There are a lot of things about BookTube I don't like.
Okay.
And that's unfortunate that it seems, and it seems with growth, especially large number booktubers aren't focusing on the books so much anymore.
Yeah.
Now, if you are, here we are in a blog style variety hour.
But we
do something different.
We demarcate it as
Yes,
that.
that is what it is. This is not
And we still
heavy
talk
book
about writing and
discussion.
reading.
Exactly. And we've talked about going into other elements. We've talked about doing movie reviews.
Skits.
Skits. I've really had my heart set on a podcast, which would be similar to what we discuss in the Variety Hour in audio form. But it seems like when you're endorsed and paid to say something, you say it. And you support it. And instead of getting
I'm
in
not
there,
against that.
and, there's nothing wrong with that. But instead of actually getting in there and getting through the grit and reading the book and coming up with good points and topics, it's just here's the book. It's great, and that's disappointing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Here's where I will argue as the contrarian that I am. I will argue not everyone, and not that you have to have an education to talk about books.
No.
But I think what I have picked up is that there are a lot of booktubers who feel that way, that I have to have that education to talk about, and that's absolutely not the case.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not the case. And I wouldn't say a problem with BookTube. One thing that we are hoping to encourage is more discussion of actual books.
Yes.
Now, where that's dangerous for the community is there's more books than you can ever read.
Exactly.
So
And-
anything you read, like we even took a jump and we went ahead and did Looking for Alaska,
We did
which was
Young
a very,
Adult.
very popular book.
We'll be doing young adult next week.
We'll be doing Young Adult next week. Not that we have anything against Young Adult, but we have sort of made our names
Yes.
reading things that are off maybe the beaten path. The problem is you see this channel and you've never read A Man Without a Country by Kurt Vonnegut. Well, you're probably not going to click on that video.
Exactly.
You don't know.
Welcome back. We don't know how cameras work, and our memory was full.
I blame Dalton.
Therefore, the last 5 minutes of this discussion, which was great and beautiful and probably would have been viral, it's gone.
That wouldn't have been viral.
It's gone forever.
It was basically us setting up that you can do book reviews all you want. You just have to license them through us, through Review World.
You're the third Fine brother. That's what you are. Anyway, we're making the point of read what you want. There is no authority because YouTube itself gives a voice to everyone.
Was the evolution argument in there?
I don't remember. Maybe we just talk about that again. It is, you think, an evolution for BookTube. I really like that point that you made that no one will ever hear, that
It's natural
everybody's
selection.
voice.
Yeah, everybody's voice counts. Because one of the things we've experienced is we've started to experience more as people commenting on videos that have been up for a while.
Yes, that's
Right.
great. But
Back when we had 10 subscribers.
yes, but if you have 10 million subscribers, if you have 10 subscribers, it doesn't matter. Your input is just as viable in the YouTube community as anyone else's,
And it should be.
and it should be, and that's a great thing.
And in a contrarian type of argument, it should matter more than someone with 10 million subscribers.
I agree.
Because those small points, the nuance really. A lot of if you watch some of these smaller booktubers, we're small booktubers. we're getting into a lot of nuance with things, right? And I think that nuance is vital to the establishment of literature. Nuance is what literature was based on. Even if you go to something as broad stroke as sci-fi, what makes Star Wars versus all of those other space operas that came out at the same time?
Space operas.
That's what they're called. It's a space opera.
Fair enough.
The nuance in Star Wars is very real and very pertinent and very there and very human. And it's those human nuances that really sell literature as literature, which is why a lot of people make the argument, and I won't condone it, that Star Wars is literature.
Okay. Again, I think BookTube's a great thing. I think YouTube's a great thing. Can we sit here and say it would be awful to be a person with 10 million subscribers? Absolutely not. If this could be our livelihood and our existence based on YouTube, we're bringing literature to people, we're talking literature, we're communicating with the community. No, that's great. That's perfect. It's not what we set out to do. We wanted to start this channel to talk literature.
And to have community.
And to have a community, and to bring what we consider our insight into someone else's insight. And that's how literature grows. That's academia. It's no different than doing your research and writing a term paper and making your argument for a novel. This is just a form of that. And maybe that's an evolved form. Maybe this is a future of literary discussion.
It absolutely is. I think YouTube and the internet is the future of everything,
yes.
Right? And
I think it's just really important to remember, especially at this small point, to remember your roots and where you came from. Yeah, if you hit it big, something goes viral, that's great. If you become what's considered the authority in BookTube, that's great. But you can't get away from your community.
Right.
You can't get away from the people who support you, and your primary purpose should be discussing literature.
Okay, I can agree with that argument. I think that your primary purpose should be whatever you say your primary purpose is, but I think that's where we get into nuances with,
yes.
Are you a booktuber? Are you a vlogger?
And that goes hand in hand. This Variety Hour is not a typical YouTube or BookTube thing. This is a very vlog classic thing, and we wanted to try other things. We wanted to try podcasts and movie reviews, and that's great. That's growth. And that shows that you can dabble in other areas, and there's nothing wrong with that. But saying, oh, these guys do a vlog, but they're booktubers, so that doesn't work, doesn't make sense to me.
Explain further. I'm not sure I follow.
I think it's wrong to say that someone who is, let's say, established in BookTube, what they do their book reviews, they do their TBRs, they do their hauls. To come out and try something different, or to cross over into another market like vlogging or maybe a movie review,
does not automatically disqualify them from being a booktuber.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
That is what's important. And if you want to really just take it and break it down, nobody is a booktuber. Everyone's a vlogger.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that should be you shouldn't be afraid to try something new just because it's different.
One thing that I will equate this to is small-time coffee houses.
Okay.
Every one of them has their special thing that they do to compete with each other, to set themselves apart from each other, and also to nibble on the Starbucks crowd.
Yeah.
Right? And it's necessary. It is what you do. It is that which defines you as yourself, but you are still this larger body of something.
And that goes hand in hand with community building. And it seems like a lot of people take this as a competitive thing. This person took this idea from me. See the Fine Brothers. That there's nothing wrong with that. If another booktuber, YouTuber, vlogger, whatever wants to come out and say, we're going to do a variety hour, we're going to call it variety hour, we're going to vlog, or we're going to do a 6 list, or we're going to do something specifically that our channel does, that's great.
That is the marketplace, open marketplace of ideas.
That, if anything, intrinsically shows that we had an impact.
Right.
And I think you should be willing to, for lack of better words, steal from other channels. Because it's a community. You should be building things together. You shouldn't be trying to take and market your idea as the one and only truth and the one and only format.
What was this from? Artists borrow, real artists steal. Was that in something that we read together, or is that something I read on my own?
Remember, it might be something you read on your own.
Okay, but that's an argument that's been in art from day one, and if it's in art, why shouldn't it be? Art is simply a reflection of society.
Yes.
Everything is stolen. Everything is borrowed. Everything is
absolutely
recycled, reformulated, repackaged, resealed, redelivered.
And I think one of the best things about the YouTube community is what everyone is doing on YouTube is considered art, absolutely, regardless of what it is. The ability to get instant community feedback is wonderful.
Huge.
And we absolutely encourage that. If there's something you disagree with us, tell us we're wrong. If there's something you think we said right, let us know. That's what the comments are for.
There's already a lot of people have told me I'm stupid.
Exactly, and that's great. That's a great thing.
You say that because everyone agrees with you.
Exactly, that's even better. But no, it's wonderful because that builds your community. You are going to have people who are out to just harass you because that's how they get their kicks.
Right.
Trolling, I believe, is what the kids call it. And that's fine. We tend to not, most people just dismiss them and don't acknowledge them. We tend to still try to bring them into a literary discussion.
Yeah, I saw that.
We've swayed people. We have, and that's a wonderful thing. But to get on there and say this, I watched your whole video, all 20 minutes of your book discussion,
which no one does, by the way. So
which no one actually does.
Don't feel guilty. And
for someone to say you're wrong, that's great.
Yeah.
Hit us back. Respond to our video. We'll watch it. Let's make this a discussion. We'll come back. And that's how you grow as a person. That's how you grow as a community, as a channel, whatever you want to plug in there. Discussion and community is what we said in our newbie tag. It was. Discussion, community, and building a community of artists. Furthering the discussion. Furthering the discussion. That bohemian spirit. I look at the Lost Generation. All the famous authors, all the famous painters, all the famous musicians. They were a close-knit community. Yeah. And I call it the passion principle, which I've written a little bit on, but I haven't really enumerated to the extent which I should. Which, if I ever do decide to go ahead and get a doctorate, that might be what it's over. Fair enough. But yeah, this I'm trying to think of a good example. I've got a book called Borromini, Bernini, and the Rivalry That Changed Rome. And basically what it was two guys going through to get, what do they call them, when commissions to build buildings, and they were just trying to outdo each other. Yeah. Trying to one-up the other. And like it or not, our generation will be remembered as a media-based generation, an internet-based generation, and it's similar and it's different. The lost generation, that perfect, ideal bohemian spirit is gone. You're not going to have that. I think you can get it back. I think there are places... you can get it in aspects, but nobody is going to just congregate in an area for the sake of congregating, because local is now global. Yeah, well, what you've done is you have redefined what congregation means. We're congregating online. Yes, exactly. And like Amy from the Dusty Bookshelf, Canada. So we're having literary discussions with people from Canada. And we know nothing about Canada. We insulted Tim Hortons, the national heritage of Canada, as is tradition. And my one of the things that won me sweetheart status with one of my undergraduate professors was the fact that I actually emailed a professor whose paper we read for class. Yeah. And you can do that. He shot me back an email. Yes. And told me why I was wrong about so many things. Was from Canada, ironically, but that is what we're doing here on a different scope, on a different level, in a different way. So I guess that's the ploy here, is go out and support a YouTuber. We'd love it if you push that subscribe button and you come back. Share as well. And share that stuff. You gotta share the hell out of us. But it doesn't have to be us. No. Go out there and support somebody and grow a community. Yeah. It's an amazing opportunity that community.